Before the break, our investigation into anti-poaching efforts in KwaZulu-Natal revealed startling cases of wrongful arrests and alleged extrajudicial killings.
Joining us now is the story's producer, investigative journalist Joy Summers. Joy, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Why was it important for you to tell this story?
I'd done a story on remand detainees about 18 months ago, and I found that story really shocking. Wrongful arrests, 2 innocent women who had their lives destroyed because police were performing private vendettas for various people. When I looked at this story and I looked at the judgment with Gumbi, it felt like there were resonances of a similar sort of thing, but that happened in KZN. And that seemed so shocking. There were these, the judgment mentioned renditions of these foreign nationals. So my curiosity was piqued. Are we subverting justice one more time? Let's have a look at this.
But how significant of a challenge was it to tell this kind of a story? Because a lot of us are looking for solutions to the poaching problem we have in this country. But more than that, society's first instinct is to always believe police.
Well, Mac, I'm not sure society's first instinct is always to believe the police. I mean, the police don't have the best reputation, do they?
Yes.
And as an aside, what's interesting is that the 3 notorious rhino poaching kingpins are all ex-policemen. But nevertheless, to challenge that prevailing narrative is difficult because it's a prevailing narrative and it's been there for a long time. So, yeah, very difficult.
But I mean, you've got a lot of experience in exposing corruption as well as other types of criminality. What does this story then say about the country in general? What is happening in the underbelly of South Africa?
That's a big question, which would take much longer to answer than the 5 minutes we've got. But what I will say is that what it highlighted for me is here we had, in 20 years into democracy, an unarmed black man being shot in an arrest 11 times. Now, that, in my view, is cold-blooded attempted murder. Is that the kind of country we want? We need to be cautious about these things. In Gumbi's case, we have a clear judgment that says he was set up. There were entrapment warrants issued by the NPA. So I think that this story, for me, highlights that there has to be a note of caution in how we are doing our policing. Is that kind of policing acceptable, considering that there was no ballistics report ever done on the Gwala matter and no investigation ever done into what happened?
Joy, the story is thrilling. It's very interesting for journalists. But do you think that it challenges how the media, people like us, actually take a look at stories like these when the evidence seems to contradict or conflict with the prevailing narrative?
So, I mean, journalists must do their research and they must do it properly, because it doesn't help if one press release goes out and then everybody just repeats that. It seems to be that that is what happened in this particular case. Interestingly, the story came to another producer in, I think it was 2016 or 2017, and again in 2022 from Saving the Wild. Will we tell this prevailing narrative? And in fact, Carte Blanche at the time decided we couldn't verify enough facts, and they decided not to do it. As a result of that, we were lambasted by Saving the Wild publicly to say that we had no backbone and that we were scared of magistrates. I just want to put it on record that Carte Blanche is not scared of magistrates. They weren't scared of magistrates then, and they're not scared of magistrates now.
And we've been accused of buying into a particular narrative or agenda here. But for the record, you used court documents.
I did use court documents, and I mean, there was a lot of other information behind the scenes that we looked at as well. A long series of information over several years. But what gave us comfort is that the court documents, they are unemotional. In an environment where there was a lot of emotion, it was easy to be misled. So that, for me, the 2 judgments, even the summons, those documents helped us enormously, yeah.
Joy Summers, thank you so much. It's been great speaking to you. Always a pleasure.